Hi, I'm Corbin Bernsen. Well, it's Sunday night here in New York City, and we're about to embark on an ultimate journey around the world. Now, Magellan did it in 3 years. Phineas Fogg, it took him 80 days, but we are going to do this in 8 days. That's right, you heard me. 8 days around the world. It's the ultimate world tour.
In a different way.
If it's Friday, it must be
We'll be traveling from New York to LA, the long way, 18,167 air miles to be exact. We'll clock nearly 40 hours flying, passing through 22 of 24 time zones, all in just 8 days. We'll be touching down in some of the world's most exotic cities, London, Paris, Rome, Bangkok, and Hong Kong, as we eat and sleep in some of the finest establishments across the globe.
No trip like this would be complete without a few traveling companions, and since we're doing this in a big way, we decided to hold a contest, and we now have got 22 psyched up people coming along. Are we ready for this trip? Yeah! It's the ultimate tour around the world, and it is going to be the time of our lives.
It'll be life and fast forward for these lucky winners.
We're going around the world.
Here's the luckiest of the bunch. Our grand prize winner, Dorothy Creel and her mom, Dorothy Anderson from Virginia.
Are you Dorothy Creel? Congratulations!
The Travel Channel showed up at Dorothy's door to deliver the good news.
So what is this big check here? What is that? Who is that?
That's Dorothy's.
And what is that?
It's $10,000. Wait, is that what you won?
You won 10,000. Really?
As well as the trip?
Wow.
Bingo.
That's our flight to London on Virgin Air. It's about time we started moving out.
Everybody was able to bring a special someone, so I decided to bring my wife, Amanda. Thank you. So hold on to your hats and get ready to get on board the fastest globe-trotting adventure that you ever imagined. The whirlwind begins now as we climb on board Virgin Atlantic Upper Class.
Of course.
Of course.
All right, we're locked in and ready for takeoff, bound for London's Heathrow Airport. It's our first of 6 takeoffs. We've got 7 hours to get to know each other a little better and have some fun while we're at it. Virgin Atlantic is pure plush, all the way. Comfy seats, great food, private TV screens, back rubs and manicures to totally pamper us during the flight.
Smells sweet. You like that on the rocks?
Here's the guy who planned the whole trip, our guide and leader, Richard Kabak, who's taking a moment to relax and play bartender.
Enjoy that.
Aldo here is famous among his friends for doing all of his Christmas shopping abroad.
This is the list. Things that everyone wants, including Sophia Loren, the Pope's autograph.
And he thinks he'll have time to shop on this trip? Here's Shelley and Joe. They're psyched up for some serious travel. Lee and Chick Knight, the experienced travelers.
And what city are you looking most forward to?
Bangkok, because I haven't been there.
And why are you looking forward to Bangkok? Don't answer that question.
And the Carters, they only have one major goal.
Well, we just want to go around the world and have a good time.
Ah, the Harwoods, with Chris along for the ride.
She won. I'm mooching.
Which city do you intend to get the most debauched in?
Well, absolutely Bangkok. As a matter of fact, I expect the law to come and get me in Bangkok. What about you, hon?
The U.S. is already a tiny dot 40,000 feet below. We'll all dream of the adventure that lay ahead.
Hey, can we trade hats?
Sure. Don't go away. We'll be touching down in jolly old England just a moment. Now how's that, huh? We're about to set down in London, our first city on the ultimate world tour, a mere 3,452 miles from New York.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to London Heathrow Airport.
Good morning. Morning.
Well, here we are in typically rainy and misty London, but this is how it's supposed to be. Sunshine would be extraordinary and quite unusual.
It's the worst part of traveling. Will the baggage make it?
Time is everything on this trip, and we don't have much of it. So we need to grab our bags and get moving since we lose a bit of time with each time zone crossed.
I've got 10 to 3.
Wait a second, I have 10 to 8. What's wrong here?
All right, it's day 2. I think we're all doing pretty well considering it's about, 3 o'clock in the morning our time? Now, we've got a convoy of luxury Land Rovers waiting outside to whisk us off to the posh Lanesborough Hotel. Dorothy Creel is here. She's our grand prize winner. We've got our organized TV crew, top notch, and the rest of us are ready to rock and roll. What better place to do it than
London!
Let's go!
As we head toward our first hotel, here are a few miscellaneous tidbits about London, just so you can feel like a true blue Brit. This city has the world's oldest subway system, but don't call it a subway. It's the Underground, or the Tube. You see, the subway is actually a walkway. London's black cabs are almost as famous as its double-decker buses, but they must be kept meticulously clean, and drivers are forbidden to operate a taxi cab if its body has even the tiniest dent or scratch.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome to Lanesborough.
Thank you very much. So, this is it.
This way, sir. Thank you.
Wow. So here we are at the very elegant Lanesborough Hotel. You know, there is nothing like a first-class hotel. Nothing like being coddled and comforted, especially when your room service is brought with an English accent. What is it about that English accent? The only problem is you kind of feel like the butler is a member of the ruling class and maybe I should be the one bringing the tea. I'll just have to get over it because this is too classy.
This is my own personal butler, Robert. He's showing me all the comforts the Lanesborough has to offer. A bar, a VCR, a private fax machine, and a hidden safe.
Once you've robbed the crown jewels, you bring them straight back here and you put them in the safety deposit box, okay?
They're in there already, I'm looking at it.
Okay, in that case, we won't open it, we'll leave them there.
These guys are here to take care of all of our needs. Too bad we can't take them with us.
And I'll come and unpack that for you later.
Okay.
While the butlers unpack our bags, we get ready to tour London. Now, if we were here a week, we might venture out on foot. But with only 3 hours to see the sights, we're climbing aboard a motor coach with our real-life British tour guide, Barbara. It was the Brit author Quentin Crisp who said, "The British do not expect happiness, they just want to be right." And Barbara is no exception, as she politely informs us Americans of our linguistic differences.
When you look at the vehicles later coming towards you, you'll think you're looking at their hoods, when Dave and I will be looking at their bonnets. Bonnets and boots, tops and bottoms, fronts and backs. We think we're terribly logical, but you are allowed to disagree. The Royal Albert Hall is where, like all of those things he says, are packed with presents.
Fleeting glimpses of London are all we have time for. Images sweep by almost as fast as we can take them in. Fortunately, a few of us are recording this.
London, just the way I pictured it.
Excuse me? What building is this, do you know?
Sorry?
Which building is this?
The Albert Hall.
Oh, it's the Albert Hall.
Yep.
That's where they have concerts and things?
That's where they have concerts and things.
Great, thanks. We just needed that answer. Where does Miss Thatcher live, do you know?
Somewhere down in Westminster, I think.
Okay, thank you. She kind of looked like Margaret Thatcher, huh? What is that?
Soft ice cream.
Now, what would be the difference between an ice cream cone here and an ice cream cone in the United States?
I would say this is more softer.
More softer?
Lighter. It's a lot lighter. A lot more air inside of it.
Who is this on the note here? Who is that?
Oh, that's Her Majesty the Queen.
I'm going to get back on my tour bus. Thank you. Wrong bus.
Big Ben is the name of the bell. The bell hangs inside the tower and above the clock. It chimes the hour. Technically, you may say, "I have heard Big Ben." You may not say, "I have seen it." Fortification.
All right, take a look at Dorothy. We are seriously jet-lagged, but we're heading to the Tower of London. Built in the 11th century, it's the home of the crown jewels and the site of numerous beheadings. It's also where we get to run into our first true Londoner, Mick Haley.
Oh, my wife is going to be livid now that she knows I've met you.
Hey, can we trade hats?
Sure.
Okay.
How's that?
Now how's that, huh? If we had time, we'd stop here and do a little shopping. Best of London can be found in Knightsbridge.
And the store on your right is Harrods, who claim to be the largest department store in Europe, reckoning that they can sell you anything from a pin to an elephant, and they mean it.
Take a look at this. This is Buckingham Palace. This is home of the Queen. Up to 7,000 visitors a day come to see this outrageous home with 600 rooms. See those guys in the tall, big, fuzzy black hats? Well, don't miss them. They're the palace guards. They're the ones who aren't supposed to move even an inch. I'd love to stop and try and make them laugh. That wraps up our glorious day of sightseeing in London as we wind down with a smashing candlelight dinner back at the Lanesborough Hotel. And as the candles burn down, it's time to dream of day 3 and our flight to Paris. Don't go away, or you'll miss the new friends I make in Paris. All right, it's our 3rd day of the Ultimate World Tour. We've just crossed our 6th time zone and traveled 216 miles as we land in Paris. Paris is the world capital of fashion, food, romance. Many of history's most brilliant thinkers and the world's hippest artists have made Paris their home and haven for years. Picasso, Nietzsche, Hemingway, Josephine Baker, Jim Morrison, just to name a few. On the right bank of the River Seine, you'll find the more historic sites, as well as some of the, well, very elegant shopping. The left bank, though, now that's the cool side. It's home to artists, students, and that mecca of culture, the Sorbonne.
Here we are, Paris. Wine, cheese, bread, women. Oh, hi, Amanda.
Our first taste of the French way of life. An exquisite meal right here on the motor coach on our way to the hotel. A champagne toast to Paris. Who thinks this stuff up?
All right, well, here we are, Paris. Got to stay in style in Paris. I got to tell you, this is an incredible city. I mean, even driving through the city on the bus was just fantastic. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. And this hotel right here, Hotel Georges V. This is one of the most fantastic hotels in the world.
You may not have known about my affinity for fine art. A close inspection is essential for the sophisticated buyer. Before jumping back on the bus, I've indulged in a little covert shopping.
Already got a little something for Dorothy from the London airport. It's probably a little goofy, but some dolls of a little doll collection.
You see, Dorothy is a doll collector.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's see. It's 1:30 in the afternoon. Now that's 7:30 a.m. New York time. I think we're getting the rhythm of this thing down. We fly, drive, check in, bus. So now we're on the road again. This time weaving throughout the wild traffic of Paris. And our tour guide here, Virginie, has promised a couple of cool stops on the way.
Look here at this sidewalk cafe, Le Café de la Paix, very typical. You know this is the French national occupation. You sit at a sidewalk cafe and you criticize everybody going by.
All right, we got the Eiffel Tower here, world's tallest structure till 1931. It weighs 10 tons. It takes 40 tons of paint to paint it, and I think it's pretty damn cool.
Here's a bit of Parisian culture you're probably not familiar with. Putting your name on a grain of rice.
Well, I'm spending my money at all the best places in Paris.
I'm a dead man if I don't bring some souvenirs for my kids.
Oliver.
This doesn't look so hard.
Corbin.
Did you know that the human body burns 26 calories during a passionate French kiss? It gains 25 from a Hershey's Kiss. So what if it was the site of over 1,300 beheadings? Place de la Concorde has some of the most glorious fountains and some of the best views of Paris. I thought I saw a crepe stand somewhere around here. I can just get across this street.
Voilà. Alors 30 francs, s'il vous plaît. Merci.
Merci. Wow. Honey and Nutella, which is Nutella. Which is like hazelnut.
So let's take a little walking tour up the Champs-Élysées with the Harwoods, who seem prepared to spend some big bucks.
20 francs.
I don't think that's enough.
No, we're gonna have to get more. Watch. Le Couture.
I mean, honestly, I didn't think that I'd be able to, this is going to sound way out there, but I didn't think I'd be able to stand up in a foreign country. I mean, on the ground, because I haven't been to one. It was all a fantasy at the beginning. It wasn't terra firma. It's fairyland. I'm not going to be able to stand up in Paris. There's no such thing as Paris, really, you know.
Look at that.
Shooting 164 feet into the sky, the Arc de Triomphe, which was built by Napoleon to show off his military successes, sits in the middle of Place Charles de Gaulle, right above the tomb of the unknown soldier. And judging by the way people drive around it, I'm surprised there aren't other Frenchmen buried under there with him.
Look. I can't grasp how they're doing this. Back at home, there would have been 10 pilots.
Now, how are we going to outdo the grand style of the Lanesborough Candlelight Feast? Well, how about the whole group puts on their best duds and climbs on board the Don Juan? They tell me this yacht was built in 1937. There's no finer way to see the sights of Paris than a trip along the Seine at night.
Try to grasp this. We're on a 55-foot yacht with a 20-foot beam on the Seine, in France, in Paris. Doesn't get any better than this.
Everybody
pass the pepper or whatever it is.
Paris is by far one of the world's most beautiful and romantic cities, especially at night. Somehow the gentle roll of the water, the sights of the city, and the champagne, it puts everyone on board in the mood. So our day in Paris draws to a close. Darkness surrounds us and the Eiffel Tower, and we're off to the hotel in a much-needed sleep, resting up for day 4.
All right, well, half a day in Paris, and we're on our way to Rome. I think we're starting to get an idea of what this trip might be like, and truly, when we say a whirlwind, we mean a whirlwind. We are like a tornado blowing through these cities. But anyway, it's on to Rome, and on the bus we go.
So it's day 4. We're halfway into our trip around the world. Thanks to Richard, everything has moved along smoothly, but now Mr. Calm, Cool, and Collected looks like he's a bit out of sorts.
Where's the entryway? I seem to have lost.
Apparently, he's got some news for the group.
Well, as of 30 minutes ago, the Alitalia pilots went on strike, so we're going to see how we can work some options, but it's no problem. We'll either go to Rome or we'll go to Madrid tonight, one or the other. Should be no problem.
Quick thinking, a pile of first-class tickets, and Richard's snappy self. We're back on track and heading for Rome on Air France. Richard's finest moment.
It's just that you always hope that you never have to resort to Plan B.
I'm glad to be here to show my support. Bet you thought we wouldn't make our flight. But hey, travel is our business here. We're still in the race, proving that the world is round and we can circle it in 8 days.
See this last taxi over here on the left? The first tree behind it there? That's where I proposed to Amanda.
Wow. Next stop, Roma. Just a quick 2-hour flight from Paris to Rome, and we've managed to stay on course with the Ultimate World Tour. It's day 4, and we've just traveled 685 miles. We're on the ground and heading toward the city of Rome. The ancient Romans built 49,000 miles of road during their empire. Not bad considering the United States has only 46,000 miles of interstate highways.
All right, here we are in Rome. We're a little late in the day. We had some problems with the airport, but it's a beautiful day here. We are here at the Great Grand Hotel. You know, it's great to be here in Rome, but I'm having a little trouble because I still got Paris burning through my system, but I guess we'll clear that all up tomorrow when we're on our way to Bangkok, and I'll be thinking about Rome and missing Rome. Hey, but we are pioneers blazing a new frontier. So this is an Italian motor coach. A little shorter, a little more compact, but it's got some zip. So let's fasten our seatbelts. Let's do Rome quick.
Even though you can see the history etched into the ancient walls and cobblestone roads, you see, Romans don't treat their city like a museum. From its citizens relaxing at cafes to the scooters that race noisily down the streets, Rome is both a tranquil and bustling metropolis. If you plan on doing some shopping in Rome, don't go looking for bargain basement prices. Instead, look for quality. Well, also, don't expect convenience. You see, shops and offices close down for 2.5 hours every afternoon for lunch. Now, if you're a late sleeper, you're out of luck. Most monuments and sites close by 2 p.m.
This brown building was the government of Mussolini, and another...
It's our third city, and we're on our third tour guide. We're being treated to Rome by Nino, because nobody knows Rome like Nino knows.
Can you see where the tower, the beige tower? All the top floor is the apartment of Sophia Loren.
Now, you know that Rome has some ancient history, but it also plays an important role in the Bernsen family history as well.
You see this last taxi over here on the left? The first tree behind it there? That's where I proposed to Amanda.
Here stands 1/3 of the Great Colosseum. It's in the process of being reconstructed even as it's being excavated. What the archaeologists have dug up so far is literally garbage. Peach pits, grape seeds, nutshells, the discarded snacks of the peanut gallery.
Well, here we are at the famous Colosseum. It's probably the monument that everybody knows the best. It was built in 72 AD by the Emperor Vespasian, and it actually held 55,000 people. There's 80 gates around it, with 80 entrances into the Colosseum. And this is where people would come and watch gladiators fight to the death, hungry lions roaring, waiting to bite the heads off of the Christians. You know, now that I think about it, I'm kind of glad that things have mellowed a little since then. I mean, at least a performer like myself can come out of an event with his head. But this is the place where the real thing happened.
The Colosseum. Long before the Rolling Stones, the Romans knew how to fill a stadium.
The poor people were standing on the top floor. Rich people from America, first floor. Look. Very bad tour guides in the arena. Fighting.
What you got there?
Gelato, or gelati. This is the combination pack, the Napoleon.
This is the chocolate. But I like the strawberry, too.
All right, this is exciting. This is the Circus Maximus where they held the chariot races. You probably remember them from Ben-Hur or something. Anyway, 250,000 people could sit in this area and watch these races.
And hey, here comes 3-time world chariot champion, Luigi Andretti.
The largest church of the world, the residence of the Pope, it's where Nino
every day goes.
The Vatican, the center of the Catholic faith and an independent state right here in the middle of Rome. The Pope is the absolute monarch of this 108-acre nation with 890 residents. Currently, Pope John Paul II reigns over this tiny nation, which has its own government, post office, newspaper, even a TV station. St. Peter's is the largest basilica in the world, and it leaves you speechless. The grand stained glass, the ornate sculptures and carvings, spirituality oozes from the walls. It may be the most peaceful place I've ever been.
We could spend a week here just walking around. I've had the camera out, I've had the camcorders going, and everywhere we turn.
It's so romantic.
Yes. Lots of kisses.
So it's day 5 and that Alitalia strike is still on. We're back at Da Vinci Airport for our flight to Bangkok. Da Vinci is infamous for its chaotic atmosphere, and the strike doesn't help. Thousands of frustrated travelers remain stranded.
Utter chaos. Not for us, though. It's pretty smooth for us.
We're right on schedule.
Don't go away. We're about to head halfway around the world. Next stop, Bangkok.
So maybe we could just skip Bangkok and maybe land in Fiji.
The Ultimate World Tour continues, making its way around the globe on board Thai Airways toward Bangkok. Now, when we land, we'll be 5,505 miles from Rome and on our 12th time zone since leaving New York. Thai Air is the way to fly. From the minute you climb on board, you're a king. The food is superb, the service is extraordinary, the presentation is just, well, outrageous. Dom Perignon, caviar, vodka. I mean, I could learn to live like this. So let the festivities begin.
Yeah, this is great. I mean, we've had caviar, we had Dom Perignon champagne, we've had incredible service, great food, these wonderful seats. I mean, I feel like you could ask for anything and get it. So maybe we can just skip Bangkok and maybe land in Fiji?
Yeah.
No? No Fiji? How about Phuket?
Phuket.
Phuket, you can land in Phuket?
Yeah.
We're going to take this plane to Phuket. We're going to skip Bangkok and go land on the beach for a little while.
Okay, so the group took a vote and I've been overruled. It looks like we'll just have to remain on course for Bangkok. Now that we know we're in good hands, we can get some sleep on this 10.5-hour flight.
I sleep naked, so if this is going to bother anybody, please just let me know now. No?
Yeah, follow the speed.
It's almost morning, and we're nearing our approach to Bangkok and another world. Day 6, and we've arrived in Bangkok. But okay, first things first, it's hot. But this oppressive heat doesn't seem to slow things down. It's 6:50 in the morning here, which, for those of us still on New York time, is 10 to 7, the evening before. Meet Chai. He's our guide in Bangkok, and I think I caught his act at the Improv in New York a while back.
Well, actually, traffic of Bangkok is busy every day. Rush hours from 7 in the morning until 7 or 8 in the evening.
My Thai is a little shaky, but I'm guessing that sign says, beware, really bad traffic. Once referred to as the Venice of the East, Bangkok has, well, it's lost a bit of its charm. You see, now it's a sprawling city whose skyline transforms almost daily with the construction boom. There's no true city center. Buildings just seem to shoot up wherever there's space. Traveler beware. The street can change its name 4 times as it winds round and round. And if you're brave, the best taxis are the motorcycles that can weave through the city with ease. Ah, finally the Shangri-La Hotel, Bangkok's best. And they're greeting us with the red carpet treatment.
All right, if it's Friday, it must be Thailand. Well, more specifically, Bangkok. Things are just starting to get alive here. It's a little early in the morning, so it's time for us to get a little exotic. And even though we have a short time here, a little exotic in Bangkok can go a long way.
If you can't stand the traffic, there's a much more efficient way of getting around. And our group catches on quickly. In Bangkok, with the highways always jammed, the river is the main thoroughfare. Commerce, tour boats, and all cargo share the same muddy brown water, the Chao Phraya. Most of Bangkok's luxury hotels are situated here, right up against the tiny huts and floating markets. You get a good sense of this city just from a trip down the river, but there's only one true way to absorb Bangkok. Hit the streets.
TV. What really strikes me is that with just a short 10.5-hour flight overnight, we leave Rome, we come a third of the way around the world, and it's so vastly different. Maybe we should go through here.
As sun sets, we're slated for another magical dinner, this time at the Sala Rim Nam restaurant, just off the river. In true Thai style, we take off our shoes before sitting down to dinner. When in Rome, oh, that was yesterday. Here's Aldo showing off his in-depth Thai vocabulary.
Kakun makra, which means thank you.
Thai food is notoriously spicy. Fortunately, they provided some cool entertainment to soothe our burning taste buds. Dancers from Bangkok's Department of Fine Arts perform as we feast on a traditional Thai menu. We've got a long night ahead of us, and with these cushiony seats, I can sneak in a brief nap to catch up on the jet lag my body's feeling. Our stomachs full. A little more awake, ready for a nice leisurely drive through the quaint streets of Bangkok on a Tear taxi for two. Our own private tuk-tuk headed for Pat Pong, the place to be for a taste of Bangkok's nightlife.
Hey, this is Pat Pong. This is where all sin in Bangkok takes place. Me and my sinful lot here are going to go check out some of the local fairs. So I don't think you're going to be allowed inside, but we're going to report back. Well, that's it for Bangkok. You can really feel the speed of this trip going now. We're on our way to Hong Kong. I'm sorry we had to leave you out last night, but we had some fun. Well, we went to Wendy's. We're a little homesick. Had to have that Diet Coke.
Stay with us for our next stop in the Far East. Hong Kong is coming up. Hold on. Here comes Hong Kong. It's day 7 of the Ultimate World Tour, and we've just jumped another 1,063 miles ahead. It's a quick 2.5-hour flight from Bangkok to Hong Kong, but that doesn't mean it's uneventful. This is one of the most dramatic landings you'll ever experience, swooping right into the middle of the city, almost brushing up against the skyscrapers that make up the Hong Kong skyline. Once you're safe and on the ground, one thing is immediately clear. Hong Kong is almost as hot as Bangkok, and the humidity is far worse, topping
90%
during the summer months.
But anyway, here we are. Hot, teamy, humid. humanity of Hong Kong. It's a perfect climate for this kind of arrival.
Hong Kong is an ancient Asian city, but for the past century, it's been a British colony on loan from the Chinese. Unfortunately for the British, this lease didn't come with an option to buy. In 1997, this land goes back under Chinese rule. And now it's time to check into the 5-star Regent Hotel. A lot has changed since Chick Knight was last here 25 years ago with the Air Force. And he's anxious to get out and take a look with his wife, Lee, who doesn't seem to think time is of the essence.
3 more paragraphs and I can throw it aside.
3 more paragraphs, huh?
Well, it looks like Chick got tired of waiting for Lee, who's still working on those 3 paragraphs, so he ventures out on his own. All right, it's 2 p.m. in Hong Kong, which makes it 1 o'clock in the morning back home. And this hot, muggy air, it just doesn't let up. I've been told that we've arrived during the rainy season, affectionately known to the locals as the typhoon season. It rains an average of 15 days a month during the summertime.
We went to Wendy's. We were a little homesick. Had to have that Diet Coke.
All right, here we are in Nathan Road, which has some of Hong Kong's best shopping, and it looks like, well, Lee caught up with Chick just in time. When Hong Kong is officially handed over to the Chinese, no one knows for sure what the outcome will be. Now may be the best time to get to work on some of those great deals. Hong Kong today is a mecca for the bargain hunter with sophisticated taste. Whether you're looking for designer suits or fine jewelry, you can't go wrong in this city. Most stores are open 7 days a week, some of them well into the evening. But it's certainly not the shopping alone that makes Hong Kong such an eclectic city. So far, everything we've seen is on the peninsula of Kowloon, which has Hong Kong's greatest concentration of hotels, restaurants, and shops. And now it's time to take the short 7-minute ferry ride across Victoria Harbor on the Star Ferry, whose fleet has been transporting passengers from Kowloon to downtown Hong Kong since 1898. Downtown Hong Kong, the business center, towers above the streets. Its architecture distinct and dynamic. Evening has arrived and it's time for a traditional Chinese dinner, which requires another ride across the harbor, this time on a Chinese junk. No, it's not traditional Chinese folk music. I guess they figured we were feeling a little homesick. Back at the hotel, the Hong Kong harbor is switched on, and the neon skyline burns brighter than Times Square until dawn. But for this weary traveler, sleep is #1 on the agenda. We've got an entire day of traveling ahead of us. This is it, our last day, day 8. We've checked out of our last hotel, boarded our last bus, and we're headed toward our last plane. This is it. This is the big one, the longest haul of them all. 13 hours, 15 minutes to Los Angeles. Fortunately, they're showing 2 movies. Let's hope for some strong tailwinds to guide us along.
All right, well, we're in the air right now aboard United Airlines Flight 2, headed for the West Coast, and that is great. But get this, we left Hong Kong at 12:10 in the afternoon, and we're going to arrive in Los Angeles, California, at 10:12 the very same morning. We just got an extra day added to our lives, and boy, do we need it.
It's great. Thank God we gain a day.
8 days of no sleep. No, actually, I feel great.
Sorry to see everything in. It's just been a marvelous trip.
Feeling wonderful. How are you doing?
Great.
Around the world in 8 days. Could you do it?
No, it's been super. I feel very good, but it's kind of nice to be coming back to U.S. soil, too.
We've come full circle. Over 18,000 miles, 40 hours in the air, all in a period of 192 hours. That's 8 days for those without a calculator. And I gotta tell you, it was worth every minute of it.
We are landing. And you know what that means? I am home, sweet home. All right, well, we made it back. We're here in Los Angeles. You know, I kind of felt like it was going to take some years off our life, but how do you feel? Feel a little younger? Yeah. But we had an incredible journey around the globe. I hope that maybe some of the stuff you've seen us do has inspired you to take this wacky trip in 8 days. I think it was all right. Outstanding. Now we're all going to go to Disneyland. We'll see you later. Bye.
Arnie Beckerish.
Hi, buddy. Say hi, Dad. I love you. You miss me?
Oh, okay. I feel like Corbin. Take 2.
Looking forward to this? Can't wait. I don't need to sleep. Sleep means nothing.
Have you ever watched the actor Corbin Bernsen?
Yes, I have. Yes, he's one of my wife's favorites, of course.
Would you like to meet him?
Yes, with pleasure. Where
Step over
is
this
he?
one.
Peace, brother.